Archangel Michael says, a hidden truth about your destiny is inside this message. Click to hear what was never meant to reach you. My beloved child, there is a stirring in the unseen realms tonight, and Archangel Michael is leaning close to your spirit with a message so dangerous to darkness it was never meant to reach you. The moment you clicked on this, something shifted. A seal broke, a curtain lifted, and a hidden truth about your destiny, one that has been covered, delayed, and tampered with, has finally begun to rise into the light. You are not here by accident. You were drawn here, pulled here, summoned here, because heaven decided you cannot walk into the next season blind anymore. Archangel Michael stands as the guardian of divine revelation, and he is whispering, what you discover now will unlock the reason behind everything you fought, everything you lost, and everything that suddenly began to change. For too long, someone tried to bury your truth. Not always a person, sometimes a fear, a pattern, a generational weight, or even your own doubt. Something wanted you distracted so you never found what was always meant for you. But tonight, Archangel Michael steps into your atmosphere with his sword of truth, cutting through the fog that has covered your destiny for years. And he says, a hidden truth about your calling is being revealed, because it is time for you to rise into who heaven always knew you were. Listen carefully, because what I'm about to say next will explain why your spirit has been feeling restless, why you felt a pull you couldn't describe, and why the timing of this message is not random. Your destiny has been under spiritual surveillance. Every time you got close to awakening something powerful, life threw a distraction, a delay, or a sudden emotional storm. Not to destroy you, but to slow you down long enough that you'd miss the revelation meant to change your path forever. But here you are, hearing what darkness prayed you would never hear. A divine truth is cracking open. A spiritual lock is turning, and your name is being called in the heavens again. Archangel Michael shows me an image, a book with thick dust on the cover. This book represents your destiny, the version of you that heaven wrote before you took your first breath. And he says, the dust on this book is not because you were forgotten, but because someone wanted your true story hidden. But now, feel this, the dust is being blown off. Pages are opening. Words written long ago are starting to glow. The chapter that was once blocked is becoming readable again. My dear soul, there is a destiny that has been waiting impatiently for you to notice it. You've felt glimpses of it in your dreams, flashes of it in your imagination, tiny whispers of it during your quiet moments. But you brushed it off, thinking it was too big, too unrealistic, too divine to ever be yours. And this is exactly where the hidden truth begins. Because the very thing you thought was too big was actually the smallest part of what heaven wrote about you. Archangel Michael says you were born with a spiritual assignment that carries weight, not just for you, but for your lineage, your environment, and even strangers connected to your energy. Your destiny is not small. It is not accidental. And it is not delayed. It is awakening. Heaven is preparing to expose a truth you have forgotten. You were chosen long before you were wounded. You were appointed long before you were disappointed. You were anointed long before life tried to convince you that you were average. Feel the stirring in your spirit as you hear this, that warmth in your chest, that rise of emotion, that sudden awareness. It's because your soul recognizes this message. It's because it belongs to you. Now hear this part carefully. This is where the message becomes urgent. There is a revelation that has been trying to reach you, a divine warning mixed with a divine awakening. Someone or something in your past attempted to misdirect your destiny. Not out of hatred, but out of fear of what you would become if you ever realized who you truly are. And Archangel Michael steps in again, declaring, "Your destiny can no longer be hidden. Heaven is reclaiming what was yours." The next moments of this message will uncover the patterns, signs, and spiritual shifts that prove your destiny is rising again. So hold tight. Don't let your attention slip. Something is about to be revealed that will shake your understanding of your own life. Before you move on, pause for a second. Listen beneath the words. Can you feel that? That pressure? That expectation? That is the realm of truth opening for you. And believe me, you'll want to be here when the next revelation unfolds, because what comes next will connect every missing piece you've been searching for. This is where your story begins to turn. Type "I welcome my true destiny" in the comments if this is speaking to your soul. Blessing code 144 is now released. Hold on, what comes next will reveal something you never expected about your path. My radiant soul, as you step into this next unfolding, the air around you shifts again. It is subtle, but your spirit feels it, like a quiet drum beginning to beat beneath your ribs. Archangel Michael is still present, standing guard over this moment, ensuring that nothing interferes with what you are about to receive. He declares that once a destiny begins to awaken, the forces that once hid it begin to panic. And that is exactly why you have felt strange tension, sudden heaviness, or unexpected confusion recently. These were not random feelings. They were indicators that your truth was beginning to rise to the surface. There is something important you need to understand. Destiny does not reveal itself all at once. It arrives in layers, in whispers, in nudges, in moments where everything suddenly feels connected. But when the hidden truth is powerful, its unveiling often begins with disruption. Think about the last few weeks or months. The sudden changes, emotional flickers, unusual dreams, or a sense that something was off, even if you could not explain it. That was not chaos. That was spiritual alignment, rearranging the path beneath your feet. Archangel Michael shows me an image of a locked gate. You have been standing in front of it for a long time without realizing that the key has always been in your pocket. The truth about your destiny is not something new. It was written into you before time began. But now, for the first time, heaven is giving you permission to unlock what once felt unreachable. A powerful shift is happening, not outside you, but within you. There is a specific reason this message was hidden from you for so long. Your destiny carries influence. Your energy, your presence, even your silent thoughts hold the ability to shift atmospheres and awaken dormant things in others. You have always felt different, not in an arrogant way, but in a quiet, unexplainable way. You've walked into rooms and felt spiritually sensitive. You sensed people's intentions without words. You felt heaviness in places where others felt nothing. And you've often wondered why your heart battled deeper storms than most people around you. The reason is simple. Souls with a strong destiny feel life more intensely because they are designed to carry more light. They are wired to notice what others ignore. They are meant to break cycles, uproot patterns, and rewrite stories for entire bloodlines. And Archangel Michael says that you are one of these souls. But here is the hidden truth that was never meant to reach you. Your destiny was attacked not because you were weak, but because you were spiritually valuable. Something in the unseen realm recognized your potential long before you did. And the goal was not to destroy you. It was to distract you long enough that you would never awaken to who you truly are. Think back on the moments when you almost gave up, when you doubted yourself, when you felt unseen or unworthy. Those moments were not reflections of your true identity. They were reflections of the pressure your destiny carries. People with small callings face small resistance. People with enormous callings encounter storms that seem unexplainable. And Archangel Michael says you are stepping out of the storm and into the revelation of why the storm existed in the first place. There is a part of your destiny connected to healing, not just physical or emotional healing, but spiritual alignment. You have the ability to shift someone's inner world simply by being present in their life. People have come to you for advice without knowing why. Others have felt peace around you, even when you felt chaos within yourself. That is because your spirit carries a frequency that heaven placed within you long before you understood it. Another part of your destiny is tied to truth. This is why lies, confusion, and betrayal have hurt you deeply. You carry the heart of clarity, the soul of honesty, and the spirit of justice. Archangel Michael, the angel of truth, stands with you because your calling is aligned with him in ways you never realized. You feel spiritual disruptions before others. You see patterns emerging before they make sense. You sense shifts before they become visible. This sensitivity is not a burden. It is a sign of your spiritual authority. But here is the twist, the truth that was hidden and is now returning. There is something heaven wrote about you that you have forgotten. You were not made to live small. You were not created to shrink. You were not designed to fit into the limits others placed on you. The calling resting on your life is larger than the doubts that tried to bury it. Archangel Michael is revealing that you are stepping into a season where things will no longer remain unclear. Patterns are breaking. What once drained you will no longer hold power over you. Energies that once attached themselves to your spirit are being cut away. You are entering a phase of clarity so sharp that everything will begin to make sense. Why certain people left, why certain doors closed, why certain opportunities were delayed. And in this new clarity, the truth about your destiny will not just be revealed, it will be activated. Take a deep breath for a moment. Feel the weight of these words. You are not listening to this by chance. There is a divine orchestration happening right now. And if you stay with this message, the next unfolding may be the one that unlocks the missing piece you have been searching for. A shift is coming, and the next revelation holds something powerful. Hold yourself steady. What comes next will touch the deepest part of your story. Type "I claim my awakening" in the comments if this is touching your spirit. Blessing code 229 has now been released. My chosen one, as you step further into this unfolding, the atmosphere around you grows heavier with meaning. There is a divine seriousness in this moment, as if heaven itself is holding its breath while you read. Archangel Michael stands closer now, not as a distant guardian, but as a witness to a destiny that has been dormant for too long. The truth that is rising inside you is not small, not accidental, and not fragile. It is ancient. It is sacred. And it is finally ready to be awakened. You may not realize it, but the journey you have lived so far, the breaks, the losses, the sudden endings, the unusual beginnings, they were all shaping you into someone who could handle what heaven wrote about you. Archangel Michael reveals that you have been walking through a spiritual training ground disguised as life. Nothing was random. Nothing was wasted. Even the painful chapters were preparing you to remember a truth that your soul has carried since before your first breath. There is a hidden part of your destiny connected to discernment. You see what others overlook. You sense what others dismiss. And you feel spiritual currents before they surface. You have always been a step ahead in your intuition, even when you doubted yourself. This intuition is not ordinary. It is a divine compass that has been guiding you toward your true path since childhood. The only reason it felt confusing at times was because you were being attacked in the very area where you hold spiritual authority. Archangel Michael shows me a vision of threads, thousands of golden threads, weaving and connecting across your timeline. Every moment that broke you, every moment that humbled you, every moment that awakened you is tied to your purpose. Your destiny is not linear. It is layered, expansive, and multidimensional. It connects to people you have not met yet, places you have not visited, and assignments that are waiting for your arrival. But here is the revelation that was kept from you. Your destiny involves influencing others in ways you never expected. Not by force, not by demand, but by presence. Your voice carries something. Your energy carries something. Your spirit carries something. People are pulled toward you, even when you do not try. Some come for guidance, some for comfort, some for healing, and some because your light exposes what they have been hiding from themselves. And this is why the enemy of your destiny tried to silence you. Not literally, but silently. By dulling your confidence, by exhausting your heart, by making you question your worth, by keeping you busy enough that you ignored your spiritual identity. But Archangel Michael declares that this tactic is now broken. The cycles that once silenced you will no longer hold you. A reversal is happening, and your true voice, the voice heaven gave you, is rising again. There is also something else emerging, a divine alignment. Your spirit has begun calling for what belongs to you. Opportunities that once bypassed you will now notice you. Doors that refused to open will begin loosening. People who once doubted you will feel compelled to honor you. Archangel Michael says this next season of your life will be marked by clarity and recognition. Not because you demanded it, but because heaven is unveiling the truth of who you are. But here is the part that you must hear with full attention. A shift is coming in your relationships, your atmosphere, and your inner circle. When destiny awakens, anything misaligned begins to fall away. Do not fear these shifts. Do not cling to what is leaving. Archangel Michael assures you that anything or anyone being removed is being removed because they were blocking the revelation of your true path. You may not understand it now, but clarity will find you soon. And in this clarity, you will discover that the hidden truth about your destiny is this: you are not meant to walk a common path. Your life carries a rare calling, and rare callings often walk through rare storms. But those storms were never your end. They were your initiation. Now, take a slow breath. Let this settle into your body. There is a divine electricity in this moment. Your spirit is awakening layers it has not touched in years. And if you stay with this message, the next unfolding will reveal the missing piece that connects your past, your present, and your future. Before we move forward, let your soul anchor itself. What comes next will open what has been locked for far too long. Hold yourself steady. Your revelation is approaching in a way you won't expect. If this message is resonating with your spirit, make sure you like, share, and comment to help this divine word reach more people. And if you are new, subscribe so you do not miss what heaven releases next through this channel. Type "I step into my purpose" in the comments if this is awakening you. Blessing code 311 has just been activated. As this truth unfolds and the hidden layers of your destiny rise to the surface, I want to speak directly to those who feel the weight of this message in their spirit. When you choose to support this mission, whether through super thanks, channel membership, or the PayPal link in the description, you are not just giving. You are sowing into the awakening of souls who are hearing God's call just like you. Heaven moves through vessels, and this channel is one of them. I hear the Spirit say, what you release becomes the harvest you will walk into. I invite you, now with a first-person call, stand with me as we carry light into places darkness tried to claim. Your giving becomes a prophetic act, a declaration that you are part of this divine assignment. Release your seed boldly, for God honors those who move when He stirs their heart. My awakened spirit, as you move deeper into this revelation, the realm around you continues to shift. There is a calm intensity in this moment, almost as if heaven is unsealing something that has been locked away for decades. Archangel Michael stands guard, not merely as a messenger now, but as the protector of the truth you are finally mature enough to receive. He whispers that this is the moment when the veil thins, when the unseen becomes visible, when the part of your destiny you have always sensed but never understood begins to speak clearly. You may have wondered why your life never matched the expectations others placed on you, why you could not fit into the roles people tried to force you into, why your spirit resisted environments that seemed fine to everyone else, why you felt restless, different, or spiritually heavy in certain places. Archangel Michael reveals the reason now. Your destiny is not shaped by the standards of the world. It is shaped by divine orchestration. You were never meant to blend in. You were meant to stand out, not through loudness, but through spiritual impact. There is a sacred pattern surrounding your life, a blueprint crafted with precision. It explains why your journey has felt different from those around you. While others walked straight paths, yours curved, broke, rose, fell, and redirected over and over. And each redirection carried purpose. Each detour carried wisdom. Each delay carried protection. Nothing happened outside the knowledge of heaven, and every moment was guiding you toward a truth that you are only now ready to handle. Archangel Michael reveals that there is a mantle on your life, a spiritual responsibility that was placed on you long before you could understand it. This mantle attracts certain kinds of people, certain kinds of experiences, and certain kinds of battles. You have always carried light, even when you felt surrounded by darkness. And those who carry light often walk through battles designed to sharpen, refine, and prepare them for greater influence. Your hardships were never punishment. They were preparation. There is something important that Archangel Michael wants you to understand in this part of the message. Your sensitivity is not weakness. Your depth is not a flaw. Your intensity is not too much. These are signs of someone who is spiritually attuned, spiritually aware, spiritually chosen. You are not fragile. You are finely tuned. And because you are finely tuned, you feel spiritual shifts long before they manifest. You sense changes in people before they reveal themselves. You read energy without trying. This is one of the markers of your calling. The hidden truth that was kept from you is becoming clear now. Your destiny includes spiritual insight that will guide, influence, and uplift others. Not through force or demand, but through presence, clarity, and truth. You were created to be a light bearer, someone who carries divine wisdom into places where people have forgotten how to see themselves. This is why, even in your lowest moments, others came to you for support. Even when you were confused, people sought your clarity. Even when you were hurting, others found comfort in you. That is not coincidence. It is calling. Archangel Michael shows a vision of you walking through a long hallway. At first it is dark, then dim, then bright. And each light you pass represents a phase of your awakening. You have already walked through the darkest part. You have already endured the heaviness meant to break you. And now, you are entering the illuminated part of the hallway, the phase where everything begins to make sense. The clarity that once felt far away is drawing closer with every breath you take. There is something else rising in this moment. You may have felt recently that something was ending, shifting, or being pulled away from your life. Connections that once felt stable may have started dissolving. Patterns that once consumed you may have stopped making sense. Environments you once tolerated may have suddenly drained you. These changes are not failures. They are the first signs that your destiny is untangling from what no longer serves it. Your spirit is growing louder. Your intuition is sharpening. Your inner awareness is waking up. This is why you are hearing this message now. It is aligning you with your greatest season of clarity. Archangel Michael declares that the next days, weeks, and months will reveal answers to questions you have carried for years. Old confusion will fall away. Old wounds will lose their power. Old fears will begin dissolving. You are entering a season where the truth becomes undeniable. And before this part closes, there is something Archangel Michael instructs me to tell you directly. You have not missed your destiny. You have not fallen behind. You have not been forgotten. Your path is not late. It is mathematically perfect in divine timing. Every moment you thought was wasted will be restored. Every lost opportunity will return in a higher form. Every broken piece will become part of your awakening. You are exactly where you need to be for this revelation to unfold. Pause for a moment and breathe that truth into your spirit. You are standing at the edge of a powerful awakening. And if you stay connected, the next unveiling will reveal something about your destiny that will bring everything together. Type "I rise" and divine timing in the comments if this is resonating. Blessing code 454 is now released. My inner light bearer, as you continue into this next unveiling, the fabric of your spirit becomes more alert, more awake, more aware of what heaven has been building around you. There is no coincidence in the fact that you are reading these words right now. Archangel Michael is still near, and his presence is firm and unwavering. He stands like a shield beside you, guarding the truth that is finally rising to the surface after years of silence. He whispers that you are stepping into a part of your destiny that very few people ever reach, because very few people endure what you have endured. And yet, here you are, still standing, still seeking, still listening. Your resilience is not only proof of your strength, it is evidence of your calling. As you move deeper, I want you to notice something within yourself. Your intuition has been growing louder in recent months. You may have found yourself sensing people's motives faster, recognizing patterns earlier, or feeling the emotional atmosphere of a room the moment you walked into it. This is not accidental. Archangel Michael reveals that your spiritual senses are being sharpened because they are part of your divine assignment. You were not meant to navigate life with ordinary awareness. You were designed to operate with heavenly insight, seeing through illusions and hearing truth beneath noise. For years, this ability may have made you feel misunderstood or out of place. But in truth, it was a sign that you were created to walk a higher path. There is a profound revelation stirring now, one that touches the deepest, most hidden layers of your destiny. Archangel Michael shows me an image of you holding a lantern in a vast landscape. At first, the lantern is small, casting only a few feet of light. But as you continue walking, the flame grows brighter, larger, stronger, illuminating not just the path ahead, but the shadows within you that once held confusion. This symbolizes what your life has been preparing you for: illumination. You were born to bring understanding where there is chaos, clarity where there is distortion, restoration where there is emotional debris. People often confided in you not because you had the perfect answers, but because your spirit carried a presence that soothes them. That presence is part of your destiny. But here is the hidden layer that was never meant to reach you until now. Your destiny is rooted in transformation, your own and that of others. Darkness fought you not because of who you were, but because of who you were becoming. Every struggle, every heartbreak, every lonely night was shaping you into someone capable of leading others out of the same darkness you once walked through. You have lived through storms that could have broken you permanently, yet your spirit adapted, strengthened, and deepened. This depth is not common. This sensitivity is not ordinary. And this calling is not small. Archangel Michael needs you to understand that you carry a generational assignment. There are patterns in your bloodline that you were born to interrupt. There are cycles that end with you. There are emotional burdens your ancestors carried that you were chosen to heal. This is why your path has felt heavy at times, as if you were carrying more than your lifetime could contain. But that is because you were carrying more than one lifetime. You have been breaking chains that did not start with you, so future generations will not have to carry them. This, too, is part of the hidden truth about your destiny. There is also a shift happening around you in the physical world, one you may have sensed, but not fully understood. People are beginning to reveal their true intentions. Some are drifting away while others are suddenly drawn to you with intense curiosity. This is because your spiritual frequency has changed. When your energy rises, those who are aligned with your next level will be pulled toward you, and those who are not will begin to fade away. This is not rejection, it is alignment. Archangel Michael says that this alignment is essential because the next phase of your destiny requires clarity, not clutter, support, not confusion. You are entering a season where you will no longer tolerate what drains your spirit. Another truth is unfolding now, one that may surprise you. Your destiny involves elevation, not the kind built on ego, but the kind built on purpose. Heaven is preparing to lift you into environments where your wisdom, your voice, and your presence will impact more people than you currently realize. But elevation requires preparation. That is why your life has been shifting. That is why relationships have changed. That is why your spirit feels different. You are being positioned for something larger than your past could hold. And there is one more layer Archangel Michael insists on revealing. Your destiny is protected. Even when you felt lost, you were never unguarded. Even when you cried, heaven watched over you. Even when you doubted your purpose did not doubt you. Nothing you have walked through has removed you from your path. In fact, everything you have survived has only confirmed that you are strong enough for what is coming. Take a deep breath now. Your spirit can feel the truth in these words. Something inside you is shifting, awakening, aligning. And if you stay connected, the next unveiling will reveal the purpose behind the battles you could never explain. Type "I embrace my calling" in the comments if this is awakening you. Blessing code 575 is now released. My rising soul, as this journey continues, the atmosphere around you shifts once again. It is subtle but undeniable, like a quiet tremor moving through your inner world. Archangel Michael stands close, watching your spirit open to truths that were locked away for far too long. He whispers that you have reached a point in your awakening where the deeper layers of your destiny can finally be revealed without overwhelming you. You have grown. You have expanded. You have endured enough to carry what is coming next. There is a mysterious rhythm in your life, one you may have noticed but never fully understood. You have always felt things before they happen. You sensed endings long before the first cracks appear. You felt shifts in relationships before words were spoken. You carried a strange knowing, an inner awareness that could not be explained logically. This awareness was not imagination. It was not coincidence. It was not overthinking. It was the first sign of a spiritual identity that has been present within you since birth. Archangel Michael reveals that you were born with a heightened spiritual sensitivity, but it was muted for a long time because the world around you was not ready for who you truly were. You adapted. You hid parts of yourself. You toned down your intuition. You silenced your inner voice to avoid conflict, judgment, or misunderstanding. But now your destiny is calling louder than your fear. The hidden truth is rising through every part of your being, insisting that you shed the old layers that once protected you. Those layers served their purpose, but they are no longer needed. You are entering a season where you must walk in your truest form. There is something important Archangel Michael needs you to understand. You have always carried prophetic signals in your spirit. You sensed danger before it arrived. You felt blessings approaching before they manifested. You knew when someone's intentions were not pure even when their words were gentle. This inner radar is not random. It is part of your divine design, part of why your destiny has been under such intense spiritual resistance. People with this level of calling are rare. Souls who carry this kind of sensitivity are usually meant to guide, influence, or protect others through insight that cannot be easily taught. For years, you may have dismissed your spiritual instincts, especially if others question them. But in truth, your instincts have been one of your greatest gifts. Every time you trusted them, you avoided something harmful. Every time you ignored them, you paid a price. This pattern is one of the clearest signs of your calling. Archangel Michael says your destiny involves clarity, intuition, spiritual vision, and discernment, qualities that cannot be learned through books or practice, but are woven into the fabric of your soul. There is another layer unfolding now, one that touches the emotional side of your destiny. You may not realize it, but your heart carries the ability to feel deeply, love intensely, and understand others in ways they do not understand themselves. Your empathy is not weakness. It is a spiritual ability that allows you to read emotional energy like a language. But because of this, you have also been hurt deeply by people who could not match your depth. Their inability to understand you created wounds, doubts, and walls that were never meant to stay around your heart forever. Archangel Michael shows me an image of your heart covered in thin layers of ash. This ash represents old pain, old disappointments, old expectations that did not come to pass. But beneath the ash, your heart is still glowing, still alive, still ready to rise. The ash is falling away now, not because life suddenly became easier, but because your spirit has begun to align with the truth of who you are. Your destiny requires a heart that is open, not guarded, receptive, not hardened, brave, not hidden. There is also a transformation happening in how you see yourself. For too long, you measured your worth by past mistakes, lost opportunities, or people who failed to value you. That era is ending. Archangel Michael says your identity is being restored. He reveals that heaven never saw you as broken, unworthy, or lacking. Heaven saw you as chosen, equipped, and essential to a divine plan that stretches beyond what you can see right now. You are stepping into a clear understanding of your significance, and with that clarity comes power. Another part of your destiny involves leadership, not necessarily in a traditional sense, but in a spiritual one. You are meant to guide others, whether through your energy, your wisdom, your insight, or simply your presence. You inspire without trying. You heal without forcing. You influence without needing recognition. This is why people confide in you. This is why strangers feel comfortable opening up to you. This is why certain individuals, even those who doubted you, return seeking your clarity. You carry something rare, something spiritually charged, something undeniably magnetic. Archangel Michael reveals a truth that must sink deeply into your spirit now. Your destiny has been unfolding quietly, even when you felt stuck. Every lesson, every challenge, every emotional shift has been preparing you for the season you are stepping into now. You are not late. You are not behind. You are right on schedule for the divine timing heaven has prepared. Take a slow breath and let the weight of that truth settle within you. Your awakening is not just happening, it is accelerating. You are being positioned for moments, opportunities, and connections designed for the version of you that is emerging right now. If your spirit feels something stirring as you read this, stay with the message. What comes next will reveal why you were attacked in the areas where you felt the most gifted. Type "I align with my truth" in the comments if this is speaking to your spirit. Blessing code 618 is now released. My illuminated heart, as you step into this next unveiling, the spiritual atmosphere around you grows dense with meaning. There is a deep internal pull within you, the kind that only appears when truth is rising from the depths of your destiny. Archangel Michael stands steady beside you, his presence wrapping around your spirit like a protective mantle. He whispers that what you are entering now is one of the most significant parts of your awakening. This is where the hidden becomes visible, where the forgotten becomes remembered, and where the unexplained finally begins to make sense. For most of your life, you have walked through experiences that seemed disconnected, random, or unfair. You asked yourself why certain people entered your life at specific moments, why certain doors opened only to close suddenly, and why certain events felt timed with strange precision. These weren't coincidences. They were orchestrations. Every turning point in your life has been part of a greater design, a design you were never meant to fully understand until now. Archangel Michael reveals that you have been guided, redirected, and shielded more times than you could ever count. There is a powerful truth about your destiny that begins to rise in this moment. Your life carries a divine pattern. You may have noticed that certain lessons returned over and over again, as if life was repeating itself. This was not because you failed. It was because the calling on your life required mastery, not avoidance. You were being trained, shaped, and sharpened. For some, the lessons of their soul are simple. But for you, the lessons were deep, layered, and intense because your destiny carries influence far beyond your own existence. Archangel Michael shows me an image of you standing in the center of a circle of light, with pathways extending in every direction. Each pathway represents a version of your life that could have unfolded, but only one of them is truly yours, the one heaven has guarded, protected, and reactivated at this very moment. You are now stepping back onto that divine path, the one you were always meant to walk. Even if you feel behind, even if you feel uncertain, even if you feel unprepared, the truth is that the path has been waiting for you, not the other way around. There is something deeply significant about this season of your life. You are becoming spiritually magnetic. Your energy is shifting in ways you can feel, but cannot always explain. Some people are drawn to you with a sense of familiarity they cannot name. Others feel discomfort around you because your light exposes their shadows. You may have noticed changes in your relationships recently, some people growing closer, others quietly distancing themselves. This is not chaos. This is alignment. Destiny always rearranges your connections before it elevates your position. Archangel Michael reveals that you are entering a phase where hidden motives will be exposed. Those who were genuine will stand out with undeniable clarity, and those who were false will reveal themselves through their actions, energy, and inconsistency. This revelation is not meant to hurt you. It is meant to free you. Your destiny cannot unfold in environments where deception or confusion is present. You are being prepared for clarity, truth, and spiritual stability. And this preparation includes cleansing your circle, sometimes quietly, sometimes dramatically, but always divinely. There is also a part of your destiny connected to communication. You may not realize it, but your words hold weight. Your presence brings comfort. Your perspective brings understanding. People listen when you speak, not because you demand attention, but because your voice carries an undercurrent of truth. Even your silence speaks. This gift has been tested repeatedly throughout your life. You faced moments where you felt unheard, ignored, or silenced. But these experiences were forging your voice into something stronger, steadier, and more powerful than it has ever been. Archangel Michael reveals that a new clarity is rising in you now, one that will sharpen your judgment, elevate your intuition, and strengthen your ability to discern truth from illusion. You are becoming someone who cannot be manipulated emotionally, spiritually, or mentally. Your inner world is stabilizing, and with that stability comes authority. Authority over your choices, your boundaries, your direction, and your destiny. There's another layer of this awakening. Your spirit has outgrown the environments that once felt comfortable. What used to satisfy you no longer fills you. What used to entertain you now feels empty. What used to distract you now feels meaningless. The shift is not boredom, it is expansion. Your soul is craving deeper purpose, deeper alignment, deeper connection with what is true and eternal. This is one of the clearest signs that your destiny is awakening. Archangel Michael shows me an image of a large door with golden edges, slowly beginning to open. This door represents opportunities, relationships, and spiritual assignments that were once blocked. They are now beginning to reveal themselves. You will soon notice unexpected openings, sudden synchronicities, surprising encounters, and divine connections that feel too precise to be chance. These are signs that you are walking into the next level of your calling. But before the door fully opens, something important must be said. You are shedding an old identity. Not because it was wrong, but because it is too small for who you are becoming. You cannot carry the old fears, old doubts, old wounds, or old limitations into your next season. This is why you have been feeling emotional releases, restless nights, sudden clarity, or unexpected quietness. Your spirit is letting go of what no longer belongs to your future. Archangel Michael whispers gently, "You are becoming the version of yourself that heaven always saw." You may not fully understand it yet, but something deep within you does. That deep place recognizes the truth in this moment. Let that recognition settle. Let it rise. Let it prepare you for what comes next. Because in the next unveiling, we step into the revelation behind the battles that shaped your destiny. Type "I walk in my divine path" in the comments if this is speaking to your soul. Blessing code 727 is now activated. My powerful spirit, as you enter this next unfolding, the atmosphere surrounding you becomes charged with a new intensity. It feels as though the very air around you is listening, waiting, vibrating with the truth that is about to surface. Archangel Michael stands even closer now, not as a distant guardian, but as a fierce protector of your destiny. He whispers that you are crossing a spiritual threshold, stepping into a realm of understanding that only awakened souls can enter. This is where the deeper mysteries of your path begin to speak clearly. This is where the battles of your past finally reveal their purpose. You have walked through storms that others could not survive. You endured seasons where nothing made sense, where doors slammed shut, where people misunderstood your heart, and where the weight of life pressed heavily on your spirit. But here is the truth Archangel Michael says you must finally understand. None of those storms were meant to break you. They were meant to build the spiritual strength required for the destiny you carry. You were not being punished. You were being prepared. For years, you may have asked why the path seemed harder for you than for others. Why you felt deeper pain, stronger resistance, or longer delays. But heaven reveals now that the resistance in your life was proportionate to your calling. Souls with small destinies walk through small storms. Souls with powerful destinies walk through fire. You are one of those powerful souls. And every battle you survived was a testament to who you are becoming. Archangel Michael shows me an image of you standing on a battlefield, not defeated, but glowing. Your wounds have turned into wisdom. Your scars have become symbols of authority. Your tears have watered the soil of your spiritual growth. Everything that felt like loss was secretly reshaping you. Everything that felt like abandonment was actually re-erection. Everything that felt like waiting was divine timing, aligning perfectly with who you are meant to be. But now a deeper truth emerges, one that was never meant to reach you until you were spiritually stable enough to handle it. Your destiny has always been a threat to darkness. This is why certain people came into your life with charm, but carried hidden intentions. This is why some relationships drained your energy. This is why you felt spiritually heavy after interacting with certain individuals. You have a light within you that exposes things in others. Not because you try, but simply because you exist. And this light made you a target for spiritual interference. But hear this clearly. Your destiny is no longer vulnerable. Archangel Michael has been sharpening you, strengthening you, and activating gifts within you that will make you untouchable in the seasons ahead. You are stepping into a new spiritual authority that will shift how people perceive you, how energy interacts with you, and how your future unfolds. You will no longer attract those who drain your spirit. You will attract those who match your growth. Another revelation rises now. Your spirit has been longing for alignment, and heaven is finally delivering it. The things that once confused you will now become clear. The things that once tormented your heart will lose their power. The people who once occupied space in your life, but never fed your soul, will drift away naturally. This is not rejection. This is divine separation. Your destiny cannot flourish in environments that do not understand your spirit. Archangel Michael says that in this current season, you will notice a sudden quietness around you. Not isolation, but peace. You will begin recognizing what your heart truly wants, what your soul truly needs, and what your path can no longer carry. Your intuition will intensify. Your emotional clarity will sharpen. Your energy will strengthen. You will feel yourself rising internally, even before the external evidence appears. This rising is part of the hidden truth of your destiny. You are meant to step into influence. Not necessarily fame or attention, but influence that shifts lives, hearts, and atmospheres. Your presence will carry revelation. Your voice will carry comfort. Your discernment will carry power. Others will sense something different about you, something they cannot name but cannot ignore. This is your light becoming undeniable. But before this transformation fully settles, Archangel Michael instructs me to tell you the deepest part of this revelation. Your spirit was chosen long before your struggles began. Nothing in your past disqualified you. In fact, your past perfected you. The pain you walked through gave you empathy. The loneliness gave you vision. The disappointment gave you depth. The confusion gave you wisdom. And the battles gave you authority. You are not stepping into your destiny. Your destiny is stepping into you. Sit with that truth for a moment. Let it settle into your bones. Let it rewrite every thought of unworthiness. Let it correct every doubt that ever crossed your mind. Because what is coming next is the kind of breakthrough that changes the direction of your life permanently. Before you continue, take a moment to support this message reaching more souls. Like, share, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. You never know who might need this word as much as you did. Type "I receive my divine shift" in the comments if this is speaking to your spirit. Blessing code 888 is now activated. As this message rises inside you and Archangel Michael reveals the truth behind your battles, I want to speak directly to those whose hearts are trembling with recognition. When you choose to support this mission through super thanks, channel membership, or the PayPal link in the description, you are not merely giving. You are sowing into a divine movement that lifts the veils off destinies just like yours. I hear the Spirit saying, what you release in faith becomes the very oil that flows back into your future. This is my invitation to you. Stand with me as we carry light into the lives of souls who are awakening in this exact moment. Your support becomes a prophetic act, aligning you with the same divine protection and breakthrough we declare here. Release your gift boldly, for heaven honors those who empower the message that rescues unseen hearts. My ascending soul, as you move into this next revelation, something inside you shifts again, not loudly, not violently, but with a deep and echoing certainty. It feels as though your spirit is unlocking a memory it always carried, something ancient and familiar. Archangel Michael stands firmly at your side, his presence wrapping around you like a mantle of fire and clarity. He whispers that this part of the message will dive into one of the most profound truths about your destiny, one that explains not just what you faced, but why you faced it. You are entering a realm of understanding that reshapes your entire story. For so long, you have carried questions that no one could answer. You wondered why you struggled in areas where others seemed to succeed effortlessly. You questioned why your heart felt heavy without reason. You asked why certain seasons in your life repeated themselves, even after you thought you healed, moved on, or learned your lesson. Archangel Michael reveals now that the repetition you experienced was not punishment. It was preparation. The weight you felt was not weakness. It was spiritual sensitivity. And the struggles you endured were not failures. They were assignments designed to uncover the hidden strength within you. You see, your destiny was never meant to be ordinary. There is a depth to your calling that requires emotional intelligence, spiritual awareness, and inner resilience. This depth cannot be learned through peaceful seasons alone. It is carved into your spirit through the battles you survived. Every tear you shed, every heartbreak you endured, every disappointment you faced became part of the spiritual foundation you stand on today. The world saw pain, but heaven saw training. And Archangel Michael says you are now ready to understand the purpose behind those seasons. There is a sacred truth emerging now, one that may stir you deeply. Your soul was being shaped into a vessel capable of carrying revelation. Not surface-level insight, but deep, transformative awareness that awakens others. You may not realize it yet, but your presence alone carries influence. You have the ability to shift the emotional temperature of a room without speaking. You can sense when someone is not being truthful, even if their words are convincing. You can detect hidden motives, even when a smile is present. These gifts are not random. They are part of the destiny that was concealed within you for years. Archangel Michael shows an image of you standing at a crossroads with two paths, one dim and familiar, and the other glowing with unfamiliar light. For a long time, you chose the familiar path, not out of fear, but out of habit. You stayed in certain environments, held on to certain relationships, or tolerated certain situations, because you were not supposed to step into the illuminated path until this exact season. Destiny has timing, and your timing is opening before your very eyes. Another truth rises now. You were protected even when you didn't realize it. There were people who approached you with hidden intentions, yet something always felt off, even if you couldn't explain it. There were opportunities that looked promising but collapsed at the last moment, leaving you confused. There were paths you almost took, only to be suddenly blocked by unexpected circumstances. At the time, it felt like rejection. But Archangel Michael reveals it was divine protection. The things that fell apart were never meant to carry the weight of who you were becoming. You may have also noticed that certain individuals reacted strongly to your presence, some with admiration, some with resistance, some with jealousy they could not hide. This is because your spirit carries an energy that activates truth in others. People who are aligned with your path feel inspired by you. People who are hiding something feel exposed. People who carry insecurity feel intimidated. People who carry purity feel comforted. You trigger spiritual reactions not because you try, but because your spirit speaks even in silence. There is another layer that must be revealed. You have been walking with spiritual insight your entire life, even when you didn't realize it. Moments when you hesitated. Moments when you walked away. Moments when you felt something was wrong. Moments when you were drawn to someone without knowing why. Those were not coincidences. They were spiritual signals. Archangel Michael says your intuition is not a fragment. It is a divine instrument. And in this season, that instrument will become sharper than ever before. You are stepping into a time where your inner world will communicate loudly. Dreams will carry meaning. Thoughts will carry guidance. Feelings will carry messages. Synchronicities will become too precise to ignore. This is part of the awakening that accompanies your destiny. You are being aligned with a clearer spiritual frequency, one that will guide you into opportunities that match your purpose and relationships that support your growth. Archangel Michael whispers a final truth for this part, one that may touch the deepest part of you. Everything you lost is returning in a higher form. Everything that broke you is becoming part of your breakthrough. Everything that confused you is becoming clarity. Everything that hurt you is becoming healing. And everything that closed in your life is making space for something divinely timed. You are stepping into a season where your destiny will no longer feel distant. It will feel present, real, alive. And the world around you will begin responding to this shift in ways you cannot yet imagine. Let this truth sink into your spirit. Let it anchor you. Let it prepare you for what comes next, because the next revelation will take you deeper into the divine blueprint written for your life. Type "I walk with divine understanding" in the comments if this resonates. Blessing code 939 is now release. By unfolding one, as you step into this next descent into your destiny, feel the shift happening not only around you, but within you. There is a quiet authority rising in your chest, a certainty that wasn't there before. This is the sound of your spirit remembering itself. Archangel Michael stands tall beside you, his energy fierce, yet steady, and he whispers that what is coming now is a core revelation, one that explains the hidden architecture of your life. You are approaching the truth that darkness tried hardest to keep from you, the truth that reveals the blueprint of your calling, the why behind your battles, and the meaning behind your spiritual sensitivity. For much of your life, you have carried an unexplained heaviness at certain moments. Not depression, not fear, not emotional weakness. Something deeper, something spiritual. You felt the weight of rooms, the inner pain of people, the intentions behind words, and the emotional storms around you. You noticed shifts in energy long before others recognized anything was wrong. In childhood, you may have been the quiet observer. As you matured, you became the silent feeler. And recently, you have become the intuitive discerner. This evolution was not accidental. It was your destiny maturing. Archangel Michael reveals that your sensitivity is connected to your spiritual assignment. The world needed you to feel deeply because you were chosen to perceive what others ignore, overlook, or cannot understand. You were designed to move in revelation, intuition, and spiritual clarity. This is why you have always been drawn to mystery. This is why you read people without trying. This is why your dreams carry meaning. This is why you sense shifts before they manifest. Your spiritual wiring is unique. But because your wiring is unique, your battles have been unique too. And here comes a truth that may pierce your heart in a way that feels both painful and freeing. You have been carrying battles that were not always yours. You absorbed emotional weight from people who saw you as a safe space. You soaked up the pain of loved ones because your spirit naturally takes responsibility for healing. You walked into relationships where you were the emotional anchor without receiving reciprocity. You became a lighthouse for those who could not find their way. But no one taught you how to guard your own energy. Archangel Michael shows an image of you standing at the center of a swirling storm. The winds represent the emotions, expectations, and burdens of others. For years, you stood still, absorbing it all, thinking it was your job to fix, to stabilize, to soothe, to understand, to explain, to carry. But that season is ending. Not because you failed, but because you succeeded. You learned empathy. You learned compassion. You learned emotional intelligence. But now you must learn boundaries, alignment, and spiritual sovereignty. You are stepping into a new spiritual identity, one where your gift no longer drains you, but empowers you. Archangel Michael reveals that your energy is being recalibrated. You will still feel deeply, but not painfully. You will still sense shifts, but not absorb them. You will still care for others, but not at the expense of your own path. You are becoming a spiritual pillar, not a sponge. A guide, not a rescuer. A light, not a lifeline. This is the transformation that must happen before your destiny fully activates. There is another truth emerging now, one that many people never discover. You are a cycle breaker. You were born into patterns that did not belong in your future. You entered environments that did not match your spirit. You inherited emotions that were not your own. And yet, something inside you always resisted. You felt out of place not because you were flawed, but because you were different. You were not meant to continue the cycles of your lineage. You were meant to end them. This is why emotional burdens landed on you. This is why people leaned on you. This is why you grew faster, spiritually and emotionally, than those around you. This is why your heart has always been older than your age. Archangel Michael whispers that your maturity was not a burden. It was evidence of your assignment. You were chosen to bring closure to generational patterns. You were chosen to bring clarity to your bloodline. You were chosen to rise above the emotional patterns that drowned others. And now, after years of inner work, confusion, and endurance, your spirit is finally ready to walk in the freedom that your lineage could not access before you. There is another layer he wants you to understand, a hidden element of your calling. Your destiny involves awakening others. You are a natural activator. People become more aware, more reflective, more honest, more awake when they encounter you. Your presence triggers introspection. Your energy stirs consciousness. Your words shift perspectives. Your silence exposes truth. This is why some people were intimidated by you. Your spirit disrupted their comfort. Your clarity disrupted their illusions. Your light disrupted their shadows. But those reactions were reflections of their inner conflict, not your wrongdoing. Archangel Michael reveals that this gift will soon strengthen. You will attract people who are hungry for truth. You will inspire people to change. You will help others understand themselves. Not because you seek recognition, but because your soul carries revelation. And this revelation will flow effortlessly once you fully step into your spiritual identity. But before this part closes, Archangel Michael offers a final truth. The version of you that doubted yourself is leaving. The version of you that overgave is leaving. The version of you that apologized for your light is leaving. The version of you that settled for less is leaving. The version of you that carried others more than yourself is leaving. You are stepping into the truest form of your destiny, strong, intuitive, aligned, and awakened. Let this truth sit within you. Let it settle. Let it rise. Because what comes next will reveal the spiritual authority you were born with. Type "I rise into my true self" in the comments if this is speaking to your soul. Blessing code 1010 is now released. My awakened vessel, as you enter this next dimension of truth, notice how your spirit reacts. Not with fear, not with confusion, but with recognition. Something inside you has been waiting for this moment, waiting for this understanding, waiting for the unveiling that Archangel Michael is guiding you into. His presence stands over you like a towering shield of clarity, authority, and divine affirmation. He whispers that you are stepping into the part of your awakening where your true spiritual authority begins to rise. Not the authority you pretend to have, not the confidence you've had to fake in difficult moments, but the authority that was written into you before you ever arrived on this earth. For years, life made you doubt yourself. You questioned whether you were strong enough, wise enough, intuitive enough, or chosen enough to walk the path your spirit kept sensing. But the truth is this: you were chosen before you knew what chosen even meant. You were called before you understood the language of calling. You were anointed before you even understood what anointing required. And every moment of struggle, every moment of loss, every moment of spiritual disorientation was shaping the authority that is now awakening within you. Archangel Michael reveals a powerful truth. Your authority has been hidden beneath your wounds. Not because the wounds were stronger, but because healing takes time. And now that you are entering your season of spiritual alignment, your authority is rising from beneath the ashes of everything you survived. There were times when your voice trembled, when your confidence evaporated, when your heart broke more than once in a single season. But what you did not realize was that each crack in your heart allowed more spiritual light to enter. Every painful moment expanded your capacity to carry divine revelation. Every disappointment carved space for deeper wisdom. Every tear watered the soil in which your destiny is now beginning to bloom. You have always carried spiritual authority, but you suppressed it because life taught you to be cautious. You dimmed your intuition so others would not feel intimidated. You softened your presence so others would not feel uncomfortable. You downplayed your knowing so others would not accuse you of being too much or too intense. You learned to shrink, not because you were small, but because the people around you were not ready for who you truly are. Archangel Michael now declares that shrinking season is over. Your authority is rising, and as it rises, something extraordinary will begin to happen. You will no longer tolerate what lowers your spirit. You will no longer engage with what drains your energy. You will no longer apologize for seeing through deception. You will no longer make yourself smaller to make others feel bigger. You will no longer stay silent when your spirit knows the truth. This is the identity shift your destiny has been waiting for. There is a deeper truth beneath this. You were created to carry spiritual discernment that others depend on. This is why people often turn to you in moments of confusion. They saw strength in you even when you felt weak. They saw wisdom in you even when you felt lost. They saw a light in you even when you felt dim. That was not coincidence. That was your inner authority, unspoken, yet undeniable. But now, that authority is becoming conscious. It is moving from instinct to awareness, from awareness to confidence, from confidence to leadership. And leadership does not mean taking control of others. It means mastering yourself, your energy, your boundaries, and your path. Archangel Michael shows a vision of you holding a sword, not a sword of aggression, but a sword of clarity. This sword symbolizes your spiritual voice, your ability to speak truth, your ability to sense deception, your ability to reveal what others cannot see. And he says, this sword belongs to you. You earned it. You grew into it. Now you must carry it. There is another layer that emerges now, one that may feel surprising. People will begin treating you differently. You will notice how others speak to you shifts. Some will become more respectful. Some will seek your guidance with new humility. Some will grow distant, not because they dislike you, but because your rising authority exposes what they are not ready to confront within themselves. Do not fear these changes. This is spiritual alignment. This is destiny rearranging your environment. This is heaven protecting your elevation. You will also begin feeling a new stability in yourself, a groundedness that was not always present. The same situations that once overwhelmed you will begin to feel manageable. The fears that once silenced you will lose their power. The confusion that once clouded your judgment will dissolve. This clarity is part of your authority awakening. Archangel Michael whispers another truth. Your life will begin accelerating, not chaotically, not overwhelmingly, but divinely. The moment spiritual authority awakens, doors open without force. Connections appear without searching. Opportunities align without striving. This is the grace that follows awakening. But there is one more revelation you must receive before this part closes. You are not stepping into power to dominate. You are stepping into power to illuminate. Your destiny requires you to operate from strength, not survival. From clarity, not confusion. From spiritual truth, not emotional wounds. Everything you have walked through has been preparing you to embody the highest version of yourself, the version heaven has always seen. Take this in. Let this settle in your bones. Your authority is not coming. It has arrived. Type "I rise in spiritual authority" in the comments if this is speaking to your soul. Blessing Ode 1111 is now released. My destined one, as you step into this final unveiling, feel the atmosphere around you thicken with purpose. There is a sacred stillness, a weighty calm that falls upon your spirit, because Archangel Michael is now revealing what all the previous revelations have been preparing you for. His presence surrounds you like a shield of blazing light, and he whispers that this is the moment your destiny steps out of hiding. What you are about to hear is not only a conclusion, it is the activation of everything your soul has been waiting for, everything your battles have been shaping, and everything heaven has been orchestrating behind the scenes. There is a divine reason you were drawn to this message. Not out of curiosity, not out of coincidence, but because your spirit was ready. Ready to awaken, ready to remember, ready to reclaim the parts of yourself that life, pain, and circumstances tried to suppress. Archangel Michael reveals that the hidden truth about your destiny has always been this. You are chosen to shift atmospheres, elevate others, and walk a path that few have the strength to endure. You are not a wanderer. You are not lost. You are not undefined. You are a carrier of spiritual awakening. But here is the deeper layer of the truth. Your entire life has been a divine setup for this moment. You have been moving through seasons that felt disconnected, but they were never random. Every loneliness you endured taught you how to hear your inner voice. Every heartbreak strengthened your emotional intelligence. Every disappointment widened your spiritual capacity. Every delay sharpened your discernment. You were being sculpted, refined, and shaped into someone who can carry revelation without breaking under its weight. Archangel Michael shows me a vision of you standing on a mountain peak, surrounded by swirling clouds. Below you are all the versions of you that once struggled, doubted, feared, or questioned themselves. But the version of you standing at the top is glowing, strong, steady, whole. He says, "This is who you were always meant to become. This is who you are now stepping into." And the clouds around you part as if heaven itself is acknowledging your arrival. Another powerful revelation rises now. Your destiny is not simply about who you become. It is about who you change. There are people whose breakthroughs are tied to your presence. People whose lives will shift because of your words. People who will awaken because of your example. People who will heal because your energy carries understanding. This is why your journey has been so intense. Souls with transformative missions rarely walk easy paths. Your depth was not accidental. It was necessary. There is also a significant truth about your future that Archangel Michael says must be spoken. You are entering a season of divine visibility. The world will begin noticing what heaven saw long ago. You will attract opportunities that match your spirit, not your wounds. You will step into environments that honor your worth, not diminish it. You will meet people who recognize your value instantly, not after you prove yourself repeatedly. Your light will no longer hide. It will stand tall. In this new season, you will feel a shift in how you move. Your steps will feel guided. Your decisions will feel aligned. Your heart will feel lighter. The confusion that once clouded you will dissolve. The heaviness that once followed you will lift. The uncertainty that once paralyzed you will fade. This is what happens when destiny becomes active. It doesn't whisper, it commands. It doesn't ask, it pulls. It doesn't wait, it unfolds. Archangel Michael brings forward another truth that marks the completion of this revelation. Your spirit is entering a realm of protection unlike anything you've known before. Not because danger surrounds you, but because your purpose is rising and heaven guards what is becoming powerful. This next phase of your life will be marked by divine interventions, unexpected blessings, and accelerated growth. You will look back and realize that the long seasons of waiting were merely preparing the ground for a rapid harvest. But the greatest truth of all is this: your destiny was never hidden from you, only delayed until you were strong enough to receive it. Until now, you are stepping into the version of your life that aligns with your highest calling, deepest identity, and truest self. And the unfolding that begins after this moment will be unlike anything your past could have prepared you for. It will be purposeful. It will be profound. It will be unmistakably divine. Take a deep breath. Let these words settle. Let them sink into the innermost layers of your spirit. Because everything from this moment forward is part of a new chapter, one saturated in clarity, authority, protection, and divine alignment. Before you step into what comes next, support this mission. Like the video, share it, comment to lift it in the algorithm, and subscribe so you never miss another divine release. Your engagement helps awaken more souls walking the same hidden path you once walked alone. Type "I step into my destiny" in the comments if you feel this truth in your spirit. Blessing Code 2024 is now released. As this final revelation settles in your soul and the weight of your destiny becomes clear, I want to speak directly to those who feel heaven tugging on their spirit right now. When you choose to support this mission, through super thanks, channel membership, or the PayPal link in the description. You are not giving to a channel. You are sowing into the awakening of countless souls who are on the edge of discovering their purpose just like you. I feel led to declare this. What you release today becomes the oil that flows through your destiny tomorrow. This message has been a spiritual journey, and if it touched you, stand with me in spreading this light further than darkness ever intended. Your support is not a donation. It is a prophetic act, a seed into divine alignment, and heaven honors those who help carry its message into the world. Step into obedience, step into purpose, and release your gift boldly.